Well, here we are again, and here we are for the last time most likely, because this is the advanced mining tutorial. This will actually be the conclusion of the tutorials for this game. It won't be the conclusion of videos. I do plan to post quite a few more videos, but I believe this is the last step in learning how to play the game that you really need. Everything else you can learn on your own, or of course you can ask questions in Steam and on our Discord. You can message me. There's all sorts of different ways to get a hold of me if you have questions. As of this video, I'm quite actively playing the game, so anyway, let's get down to it. A lot of you've asked questions about the Prospector, and I am going to show you what the Prospector is all about. It's a really fun ship. It's a very expensive ship, not just in the cost of the ship, because, I mean, the ship itself, I could show you here on the market. It's 5 million silver everywhere you go. Believe me, I've traveled the world. It's the same price everywhere. But it also is going to cost you a lot more money in skills. So there's a few things you should know for skills for this ship. First of all, you're going to want to get extraction absolutely maxed out, if at all possible. I don't expect everyone to be able to, but if you can, max that skill out. Because, let me stop my ship so we don't go flying off the deep end. It's important that you max this skill out because it forms the base of all other extraction related skills. Now, you don't have to max it out in order to learn industrial extraction of resources, but you really should, because there's a mathematical equation that goes into determining how much you mine with this ship. And the first part of that equation begins at extraction. So no matter how high you get these, you're going to get a very minimal return if extraction is low. For example, I have my extraction maxed out from long ago when I learned it, and I only have level 3 of most of my extraction skills. So for example, timber, 100% timber, I pull up about 6,600 per pull. Well, I have a fellow guild member who has extraction at like 7 or 8. I don't know, it's not too high, and his skills here are way higher. They're almost maxed out for the Prospector, and I'm actually pulling more than he is because my base extraction is higher. This is the most important stat. If you ever want to become a miner, you have to work on getting this as high as humanly possible. Secondary to that, of course, would be exploration. I've already explained this in another video. I don't need to do it again, of course. But exploration is important, but I'm going to teach you in this tutorial how to explore without using exploration, at least for timber, stone, and food. Okay, but we'll get to that in a minute here. First, let me just show you what the Procurer does. So the Procurer is like any other ship where you've got the extraction button on the bottom left. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention in my other video is you cannot extract from a warship. So that means any ship that looks like it's made of metal, aside from this ship and the Ox, is most likely not going to allow you to extract. So that would be the Blade 100, the Toad 100, Blade and Toad 200, the Yacht, all sorts of other ships that look very metallic. They're warships, they're not meant to extract, so this button will be missing. Anyhow, we're on the Procurer, the Prospector. That was a little Eve reference. You can just click on extraction, and then up comes a list of the 8 different resources that you can extract with this ship. Now, you still need to use exploration if you want to know what's beneath you. So we click on exploration. It looks like we've got a lot of timber and almost 100% IMA. That's because we're down near Nargval, where there's tons of IMA, if you're curious where to find it. So let's go ahead and extract some timber. At 95%, if I extract once, looks like 6,300 timber. So close to max. But you'll notice I only picked up timber. I'm not picking up anything else like you do in every other ship. That's because the Prospector, you can specifically set which resource you want to use. And it saves you a ton of mana because the equation is X amount of mana per type of resource. So if I'm taking only one type of resource out of the ground, I'm only using the mana for that. I'm using 17 in this case. It's probably really hard to see on your screen, but I've learned the skill to level 3 that reduces the amount of mana needed to pull this out of the ground. It can go up to level 11, I think, so you use like 9 mana. It's some crazy small amount. So that's a pretty cool skill to have. So let's go ahead and just extract like fiends. See how much timber we actually take out of here by doing this. You'll notice the diminishing returns on the right as I bleed away all the timber in the land. And I'm going to hit my mana potion so that we don't have to wait for 10 minutes for me to show you the next half of this. Okay, so it looks like we took it down to 70% timber. That's about 25% for a full 1100 mana. Your mana will vary depending on your skill level, so I'll let you do the math, but that's pretty great. I mean, that's 362,000 timber. That's half of a mammoth right there. If I did this again, I'd have enough timber to build a mammoth. I mean, I'd need boards and everything else, but you get my point. So the Prospector is what we'd call the end game mining ship. I mean, once you've gotten a Prospector and you're starting up on the skills on it, you are going to be pulling enough resources to supply the local market with ships or with refined resources or whatever you happen to want to sell. Now, again, I want to reiterate that selling raw resources is not very profitable. Just to give you an example, let's see here. So 362,000 timber. Actually, let's make it even better. Let's say we filled up our Prospector with 3 million timber, because that's about what it can carry, is about 3 million weight, not counting the engine and everything else. But you can overload yourself a little bit. It's not going to kill you. So we got a timber here. The local market, 4,375 timber will give you 10 silver. Now, I'm going to do a little math over here on my calculator. So I'm going to type in 3 million divided by 4,375. You know, if I was a really good video editor, I'd put all this math on your screen and it would look super fancy. But if you're a video editor, let me know. I'd love for you to help me edit these videos. I just don't have the time. And okay, so I divide that. I get 685 stacks of timber that I could sell on the market. And I multiply that times 10 silver. So, yeah, that's not very profitable at all. So for a full load of timber, you're looking at 6,857 silver. That is really sad. That's not a lot of money at all. And 6,857, I mean, I could make $500,000 to $1 million on a single contract run. But alternatively, if you want to make safe money, this is probably the safest way to make your money, because 6,857 timber right outside of a city where I'm not going to get attacked by a pirate, that's pretty nice. So, I mean, you could make money doing this. It's going to take you longer. It's going to be a bit grindy. And I'm not really sure if you're going to come out on top, because you're going to have to use mana potions if you really want to have enough mana to do this in a timely manner. So totally up to you. Now, the money can be made when it comes to materials. So once you get yourself a settlement and you're starting to pump out boards, 1,912 boards, which is less than half of the number I just quoted you, 10 silver a piece. So it does get better as you can produce things. Generally, at least at the time of this video, it's not a good idea to sell either raw resources or even construction resources on the market. The pay just sucks. So I suggest, if you're going to be a miner, if you're going to be a producer, you do it to build yourself things. The only thing that really sells on the market are weapons, ammo, kind of, and ships. Ships sell pretty well, even with the minimal player population that we have at the moment. Those are very popular items. I just sold 2 Dodgers this morning for 80k a piece, which is kind of overpriced. Sorry to whoever bought those. But yeah, you can sell ships pretty well. So being a miner is a means to a different end. It's not really the end all. So, okay, so I told you I'd tell you how to find certain resources without using exploration. I have 100% exploration, so I can find things very easily in the ground at exactly what they're worth. 100% IMA, 96% timber, but there's another way to do it. And you probably already know this just from playing the game, but I'll show you anyway. On your mini-map here, you're going to see different colors. You're going to see dark green, which you probably guessed is forest or timber, or not timber, trees. you're going to see kind of a grayish brown, which is stone, building stone. And if I look over there, I don't know if I can see it from here. Yeah, it's nighttime in the game, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can sort of see it right there in the distance. That is a stony mountain. So the light gray / brown indicates a stone-covered area. If I went over there, if I flew over there for you, you would see in my exploration that it's 100% building stone or somewhere in that general vicinity. So that's a good way to know where to get building stone. This is a good place to get timber. It seems straightforward, but some people don't realize it. They fly all over the place hitting their exploration button trying to find timber. It's right there on your map. Dark green generally is 90 to 100% timber. If I zoom in even more, you can see it better. And light brown, which is this patchy area you see, and it's probably 50 to 60% of your map no matter where you're at. That's just open space, general plains. If you're looking for food, you'll tend to find more food in those types of areas. If you want really high percentage of food, because if you're here in the east, you'll notice it's not really going above 50%. If you want high percentages of food, you can go towards the west here. The west tends to have a lot of food. In Nardwick, which is way west, it's almost at the edge of the map. That's the game's version of the San Joaquin Valley in California, if you know that what I'm talking about. It's the breadbasket of the game. It's where all the corn is grown and all this other stuff. So if you want a really high amount of food, head over there. It's a really long flight, and if you're doing it with a prospector, I wish you luck, and I do not envy you. It's not really worth it, though. Food doesn't sell. Food is just used for nitrates, and you can mine 50% food, and you'll have plenty for nitrates, so it's totally up to you. And then things like phlogiston, IMA, things like that, there's no visual indicator on the map of where those are at. You just have to ask around. I can tell you from experience that you're going to find lots of IMA here in, where am I at? Stoneland is like the king of Ima right here to Nargval. This circle right here, you're going to find 100% Ima deposit everywhere. It's very good to mine here. You're going to find tons of ore up on Trump Island. I'm guessing they put in Trump Island because they thought it was funny. I think it's pretty funny too. Blackmark Island has 100% iron ore. Down in Citadel, you've got a little bit of IMA. But anyway, ask around the community. I mean, I could tell you all sorts of secrets to where things are in the game, but it's better if you just ask people, and people will tell you. You're going to get iron in the north, oil in the south. That's the rule of thumb. So anyway, that's the Procure, or the Prospector. Gotta keep referencing Eve. And I mean, that's about it. There's not really much else to tell about the ship. It's an awesome ship. You will make your money back eventually, and even if you don't, you'll have all the resources you could ever dream of having. Again, you can ask me any questions you have on Steam. I'm XP Walker on Steam, or GRG XP Walker, something along those lines. And you can also ask in the discussion forums, and of course you can ask me in Discord, which is linked on the Gorgonites.com website. So I will see you all out there, and I will be making some more videos pretty soon here of some more fun stuff, like hunting the Black Baron, which I just did today and killed him, and other cool stuff, you know, stuff that's more interesting than these boring old tutorials. But I do thank you for watching these, and I will see you next time.